Iuha heani washte trujan na trushkan. Good morning, nieces and nephews. Happy Friday. Nitra on petu washte yuha po. Kason Richards and Dion Reddist. I hope you two have fantastic birthdays. How lucky for you that they fall on a Friday, huh? Get the weekend to celebrate, have some good times. Okay, we don't have a live stream this morning on Friday. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put together this video to help you finish the big assignment of the week, all right? Because I want you all to get a rockin' start on this class so we get our quarter off to a good start. The big assignment of the week is the discussion post from Wednesday. So I'm going to take us back to Wednesday in the browser. So you might want to get Schoology open in another tab as you're watching this video. Or you could just watch the video, pause when you need to, go to Schoology so you get the assignment done. All right, so I'm going to jump into my browser. And you see that we are on the Schoology page. And the big assignment was on Wednesday. So I'm going to go into Wednesday's folder. And here we are. First thing I want to show you is notice underneath here, you have this must view the item, must complete. Ideally, you want these to be green checks. And these turn into green checks when you have completed all the assignments that are listed. So once you view Wednesday's lesson, let me open this up and see if that happens. Yeah, once you view Wednesday's lesson, now this may not happen for me because I'm not a student, but once you view the lesson and then go back to the folder, you will see that gray check has become a green check. All right, it's not the case for me because I'm not a student, but you'll see that happen. Same thing in the Do These Assignments Today folder. You're going to want to open those up and look through all the assignments and do whatever needs to be done. Sometimes you need to open it up and read it. Sometimes you need to make a submission. It'll tell you what you need to do. Your goal for the week should be to turn all these gray checks green, okay? Now, as I said, I am specifically going to show you today how to do the big assignment of the week. It's the one that's going to be worth all the points. It's probably going to be a 100-point assignment, all right? So make sure you spend the time to nail this one. Talk about executive functions, being a boss. It is time to be the boss and make sure you do this assignment as best as you can. And that means using some executive functions like some planning, some metacognition, thinking about it in advance, all right? The big activity is right here, the big assignment, executive functions, your strengths and weaknesses. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Okay, here we go. Make this a little bit larger. All right. The first thing you're going to want to do anytime you're given an assignment is to read it thoroughly and make sure you understand it. Don't just dive in. You have to use that inhibitory control, right? The urge is just to dive in and get it done so I can get it finished, get on to the next thing. That's good. That's good task initiation, which is another executive function. But you want to do it wisely and with thought, the metacognition part. So let's read these directions, all right? Read them along with me. After reviewing your scores on the executive function self-assessment, think about your areas of strength and your areas of weakness. Answer the following questions using complete sentences. Once you have submitted your own response, respond to at least one classmate. All right, let's break it down. First thing I'm going to do is review your score on the executive function self-assessment. Now, if that's something you haven't done, then you need to go back to Tuesday and make sure you open up the red folder and complete that self-assessment, okay? If you have already done it, you should have received an email from me in which I summarized your scores for you, all right? So be sure to check your email, and you should have an email that looks a lot like this. Let me check out where my count, yeah, it looks a lot like this one right here, in which I have summarized each one of the sections for you and given you your score for that section, all right? And what you're going to do next is, well, let's go back and see what we do next. I've got the email. I'm going to review my scores, and I'm going to think about my areas of strength and my areas of weakness. All right. That's actually pretty easy, because if I look at these scores, how do I know what my area of weakness is? If you're thinking, look for the lowest score, you're right. okay? We talked about anything like 6 and below is weak, which is fine. If you have scores below 6, then look at those areas. If not, what's your lowest score? So let's take a look here at these scores. I got a 9. I've got an 11. Okay, another 9. I'm going to come down here. Oh, down here, cognitive flexibility, 5. That's my weakness, okay? Being a flexible thinker looks like something I could work on to improve. So I'm going to remember that. My weakness is 5, cognitive flexibility. What are my strengths? Well, those are my higher scores. The top score is a 12. 11 is pretty close to the top. Organization is an 11. Definitely a strength. And perseverance is definitely a strength. Now, there is a tie there. I could choose to talk about one or the other. I'm just going to talk about both because there are only 2. I'm going to mention both of them, all right, as my strengths. So I'm ready now to go back and read the rest of the directions because I have reviewed my self-assessment scores. So I'm going to go back and look at question number 1. Which executive functioning area is probably your biggest strength? Why? Okay. Right comment. I'm going to start to write. My biggest strength. Let me do a little bit of planning. I'm going to start off with my biggest strength. Okay. My biggest strength is a tie. I scored 11. I am strong at, oh my gosh, my working memory, not too good. I'm going to come back here and check. Organization, okay. I am strong at organization and perseverance. Those are 2 good things to be strong at. I'm glad to be strong at persevering, at never quitting, because if you're strong at perseverance, you can make up for almost any weakness you have in any other area just by keeping on and keeping going. Perseverance is good to be strong at. I think I keep things in good order, and I never stop trying. Now, why did I add the second part about keeping things in good order and never stop trying? I added this second part because it said, not only did it say which executive functioning area is probably your biggest strength, it also asked why. So I did a little bit of both. I told them which my biggest strength was, and I also answered, I'm also going to tell the teacher, who's me, why I think that's my biggest strength. All right, next question. Which executive functioning area is probably your biggest weakness and why? Okay, let's keep going. My biggest weakness is, how's your working memory? Do you remember what the weakness was? My biggest weakness is, I thought I had it. I got a 5. Cognitive flexibility, is that right? I'm going to check my working memory here. Yes, cognitive flexibility of 5. Okay, I'm not totally lost. I can remember a couple things. Old age hasn't crippled me yet. My biggest weakness, no comments, Emilio. All right, my biggest weakness is cognitive flexibility. I only scored 5. I think I'm stubborn. Sometimes. Stop talking about me out there. I think I'm stubborn sometimes. So that's why. Oops. Better spell that correctly. So that's why. Okay. So now I'm going to review. I'm just going to read everything and see if it sounds good. My biggest strength is a tie. I scored 11. I'm going to put 11 on both. I am strong at organization and perseverance. I think I keep things in good order and I never stop trying. My biggest weakness is cognitive flexibility. I only scored 5. I think I'm stubborn sometimes, so that's why. That sounds like a pretty good answer. I'm pretty happy with that. I've answered both the questions. I've put good thought into it. I have used my scores from the self-assessment to make the answer. I'm not just making stuff up. All right, I didn't put in anything there about my favorite sport, or I didn't say I like cake. I mean, I stuck to the topic, all right, just like you're going to do when you do this. So I am ready to hit post. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hit post, again, because I'm not a student. I don't want to mess things up. You hit post when you're finished. But then you're not quite finished, are you? Because there's one more thing you've got to do. After you make your post, it says here, once you've submitted your own response, respond to at least one classmate, all right? And when you respond to your classmate, don't just say, sup, yo, hey, I'm just trying to get my grade up, I'm responding. Don't do that, because you're not going to get any credit. I am not, this is going to be graded, and I am not going to give you a good score or a good grade if that's what you do. When you reply, pay attention to what your friend wrote. If you were writing a response to me, you might say something like, I'm glad you're good at two things. I could help you work on your weakness. I'd be glad to help you become less stubborn. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for you to type. Hey, Mr. Mosner, I see you're good at two things, organization and perseverance. That makes me happy because you're my teacher and I'm glad you're organized. That would be a nice, supportive, courteous thing to say. And that's the kind of thing we're looking for you to write to your classmates. How can you be supportive and how can you respond to them without just typing sup? That's more for chat. That's not really for school, all right? So that's how you are going to rock the big assignment of the week, the discussion question. So I'm going to go back out of here, back up to do these assignments today. Remember, there is no live stream today. This is just your chance to really get yourself all caught up on the assignments for the week and nail the big ones so you get a nice high grade out of that. All right. So I'm just going to finish up by reminding you all that our Achievement Seminar classes live stream every Monday, every Wednesday. No class Tuesday, no class Thursday. Those are free periods. Get some stuff done, sleep in a little bit. If you got a 10 o'clock class, you'd sleep in a little bit. And on Fridays, it's going to be a time for me I'm going to take a look at the work we did during the week, leave you a little tutorial video, a little help getting the assignments done, and get caught up and strengthen our executive functions. Sorry, I almost forgot there. Again, I struggle sometimes with working memory. It must be lunchtime. Until next week then, you all have a good weekend. I think it is going to be a warm one. So make sure that you stay cool. I know most of you already are cool. And I'll catch you Monday.